What's up, YouTube? I'm Vaughn, and this is the Gear channel where we discuss collectibles, hobbies, cabaret games from tabletop to video games. And today we have another Go format match, and it's our last turn deck versus a very interesting burn deck, which also has a lot of bit of chaos cards in it, and also focusing more on a lot of flip effects of adding spells and traps. So it was a very interesting deck, and I really wanted to see if our last turn will win before we actually lose in life points because of burn damage. So before we begin, friendly reminder as always to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel a lot and I do really appreciate it. So we're going to be actually going first. So we won the rock, paper, scissors, which was actually very nice. And what we have is Solemn Judgment, Cat, Last Turn, Heavy Storm, Judgment, and they have BLS, Swords of Revealing Light, Tsukiyomi, Snot Steel, and Judgment. Okay, this is going to be a very interesting game, and we drew into the Spell Shield type A. Okay, so we're going to get into a minute last time what it does exactly, because it's a very important place that you have to understand with it, and especially if you want to avoid last turn, you definitely want to learn the basics of it, because you might be going against last turn, which might be an issue. So we're going to explore all the ways to avoid and how you can actually win if your opponent plays last turn against you. Now our opponent plays Nightmare Wheel on a draw phase, so we won't be able to flip our Cat of Ill Omen, which is actually quite a bit of an amazing card, actually, if you think about it. So we're going to have to just take it as is, and then we're going to go and activate Heavy Storm to maybe flip it, but they go Solemn Judgment. So we're going to go and set the sub jar and then set everything else. So we're going to be all set in case if we draw into our missing cards, because there's a few key things that we're missing. So we're missing Wall of Revealing Light, so we could actually bring ourselves down to at least 1,000 life points, and we need at least Jaws or Jowgin to actually win the game. There's also other cute ways to actually win or even draws, but usually it's those two that you want to see. Okay, so we're gonna go and flip our cyber jar, activate the effect. So we're gonna go and banish all the cards. Okay, and there we go. Wall revealing light. So we're actually all set to win with last turn now. Okay, so ceasefire, very strong. So yeah, he has quite a bit of like burn cards, so that might be an issue. So that's why I'm happy to actually have this set up right away. So we're going to add the wall and spell shield type 8. So we're going to attack with the shiny angel. Flip, they're going to activate the effect, get solemn judgment. There we go. And then we're going to set the jowls and set the wall. Okay. So on draw phase, we're going to activate the wall, paying 7,000 life points. And then we're going to go and activate last turn. Now, last turn, quite simple. If you have 1,000 or less life points on your opponent's turn, you can activate. Select a monster, doesn't matter the position. Send everything from hand and field on both players, except for that selected target monster that you chose. Then your opponent spell summons a monster, and those monsters battle. Then, at the end of the turn, whoever has a monster remaining wins the game. Now, why it's good against Jowgin is because you can choose which effects you want to resolve at the end of the turn. So what you can do is have the monsters battle, Jowgin effect flips, take control of your opponent's monster, and end of turn, since you're the only one remaining with a monster, you win the game. And then if you do it with Jowgin, your opponent can't spell summon, so since that is the only monster remaining on the field, you win. Now, there's a few things that you have to know, okay? One, the battle that it does, it's not the battle phase over here, okay? It's an additional battle phase. So if I activate it on the DP, it gives it an additional battle phase. So that means your opponent still has a standby phase, a main phase, and a battle phase. So if you activate this and your opponent has a Sanjan, he can use Sanjan's effect to add a monster, and then on main phase 1, summon the monster, and then battle again into your monster, and then he could actually potentially win while you activate it last turn. So you have to be very careful with it, and that's why there's like important things to play. So As you can see, Judgment is very good because they could actually just stop the chain link like that. And then also spell shield type 8 is very good because if you select your Jowgen, they could chain Book of Moon and then spell summon a monster. But this actually negate any spells that targets monsters, so you could actually use that. And since it's a counter trap, there's not many cards that could chain to it except for counter traps. Okay, so our opponent goes activate Solemn Judgment, but we're going to activate our Solemn Judgment, and now everything is going to resolve. So we're going to send everything, hand, field, except for Jaws. Okay. Our opponent has to send his entire hand. And then his Sanjan is going to attack. And then Giles is going to use the effect. You take control, and we win because of that. Okay. Game 2. Now, this is going to be a very interesting game, and it's definitely going to show you how Go format, you have to be very patient, and the slightest misplay could cost you the game completely. So we have 2 Jaws, we have Morphing Jar, and then 2 Solemn Judgment. They have Grateful Charity, they have Magical Merchant, they have Mask of Darkness, they have Jargon, very interesting, and a Magician of Faith. So very good. So they draw into Metamorphosis. They play Graceful Charity, get the Lincoln Duel. Now that's going to hurt, especially with the Magician of Faith. So they're going to go activate it, select our Morphing Jar, which actually really sucks because now we can't really get our hand back to full power like as quickly. So they set the Magician of Faith and Torrential Tribute, pass to us. So I wasn't really considering Magician of Faith, so I wanted to be safe, and I didn't really want to say anything that they could potentially just like heavy storm us. So I decided to just pass, which was a big mistake because they're going to flip Magician of Faith, and they drew into a Magician of Faith. So now you know where this is going. So they're going to go Delinquent Duel, and we're going to lose 2 more cards. So there they go, and they're going to inflict 300. We don't really care about the damage because we want to be at 1,000 or less life points, so that's not the end of the world. But he's going to set another Magician of Faith. Now we have to be careful, so we're going to do 1 set and pass to our opponent. He does Magician of Faith and chaining Torrential Tribute. So we're losing a monster, and then we're going to lose 2 more cards on top of that. So our opponent got us actually very good right now. So the only bright side is that a lot of his monsters don't have that much high attack, so we can actually pass quite a bit of turns and taking like little pokes. So we're gonna go do that. Draw into Spell Shield type 8 with Upstart Goblin, and then our opponent is going to attack for 200, which is fine. Okay, set the Mask of Darkness, really good. We should have actually set the Wall Revealing Light, but it's okay. Alright, they drew into Mystical Space Typhoon, which is, thank God we didn't set the Wall Revealing Light, but at the same time, you're going to see what's going to happen in a minute. So we're going to go and set the Wall Revealing Light. He goes MSD. We're like, okay, maybe we should have actually hold it up some more. We should really like not have activated anything or even say anything. We should actually just belt our hand and just wait for the perfect moment. But I did get a little bit impatient. So normal summon Sanjan. Didn't want to attack just in case, but went normal summon it. They said Sinister Serpent, Metamorphosis, Thousand Eyes Restrict. Now Thousand Eyes Restrict is going to take our Sanjan. I didn't want to Sire Sanjan because he had Nobleman cross out. So now we're going to start taking 1,000, which is not that bad. So we drew into the last turn. So possibly we could actually get our combo up and ready. So we're going to take another 1,000. Okay, now we have Heavy Storm and Giant Trunade. Not bad. Attack again. There we go. He's going to book up Moon, which is kind of too early. He should have actually waited for the following up turn because then he could actually won pretty much like that. So it's okay. So we get the Jaws because he could have added the Sinister Serpent on his next standby phase, normal summon it, and that would have actually been enough to deal the whole damage. Okay. There we go. Done. And now I felt kind of ready. Like we had no choice but to do this now, or we're going to take another 1,100. So I decided, like, you know what, let's do it. But I should have actually waited because we were been at 100 left, but the Sinister Serpent, it was very hard to actually decide on that one. So I went and decided not to set, which was definitely a misplay. I should have actually set everything, and you know what? Just ring it just to see if it was durable. Because our opponent, what do you have? Torrential, Judgment. Yeah, so he curved Judgment, the wall revealing light after we pay 1,000, which is fine, and then last turn, or saved the Judgment for the last turn. So it was definitely not looking good for us at all. So they get another Judgment. They're going to attack. Okay. Now we have no choice but play like a little bit aggressive, but not too aggressive. So we're going to summon a Shining Angel. They're going to go Torrential Tribute, which kind of hurts a bit, not going to lie. So we're going to set, and they go Dust Tornado, and it really doesn't matter. So we're pretty much lost this because now they're going to do Sinister Serpent, Normal Summon, and Poke. But it's okay because now we're going to go into Game 3. And we're going to see exactly who's going to win this game. Okay, so we have Solemn Judgment, Joggin, two Joggins, Card Destruction, Giant Trune. They have Dust Tornado, Book of Moon, Metamorphosis, Black Laser Soldier, Snatch Steel. Okay, so not so bad. We drew into another Solemn Judgment though. So lots of copies in hand. So we set two, and then we pass. So we didn't really have to set two, but why not? Just in case if there's any interruptions or if we do Giant Trunade, that would be also ideal. So we just set it just so we had something. Okay, so they're going to set. We're going to draw. And we're going to go and use Giant Trunade. They're going to go Chain Dust Tornado. Not a problem. We're going to just let that resolve. And now we're going to go and activate Cat of Ill Omen. So we're going to put Wall of Revealing Light to the top of our deck. And now we are completely all set. So we're going to go Normal Summon Joggin, set the Solemn Judgment, set the last turn, and activate Card Destruction to draw one, which is the Wall Revealing Light. And then we're going to go and set the Wall Revealing Light after our opponent draws his cards. And we're just going to pass. So now on draw phase, we're going to go and activate Wall Revealing Light, paying 7,000 life points. Okay, wait for our opponent for a response. And yeah, it's a cost for Wall Revealing Light, so they can't chain the MST to like prevent us from paying. So he's going to go and chain the MST, which doesn't really do anything because we're just going to chain our last turn. And we won because of that. And that's it for a GOAT format match. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. And if you want a sneak peek of future products we're planning to review here on the channel, you can always follow me on my Instagram, VaughnGear. I'm Vaughn, and this was the Gear Channel.